Hello, I'm Rico Cavella, and this is your Ageless Body Self-Care Guide, Operations Manual for your body and for your mind. And the title of today's session is about total sacred health. It's about living life lit up from within. And I think this is such an important one. Our whole message of this whole uh, uh, self-care guide is to help you to be able to learn how to take the best care of your possible of your health and your body and your mind, and also to convince you that your health is your should be your number one priority, because without good health you're not going to be able to be very productive or enjoy your life at all. So our health really is sacred. So we're going to find out really, you know, really why our health is so sacred and how you can actually uh, really get in touch with that and live your life, live up within, so that you can create the health that you that you should be living to. And we have a great expert today. He's the legendary Udo Erasmus. He's an author and pioneer of the health and wellness industry, and he actually created the flaxseed oil and the healthy oils fats movement. So Udo, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, glad to be on.
Yeah, I'm really happy to have you here. And I'm going to let please stay for the whole interview, as Udo's going to tell us something about what he calls the God molecule.
Hmm.
So that's something that's very interesting to me, and I think you'll want to know what the God molecule is. So stay for the whole interview. It's going to be not too long, so stay with us. So Udo, let's just start off by talking about sacred health. So what do you really mean by sacred health?
Well, I think it depends. People use sacred in a religious way, but the way I use the word sacred is it's when you're full on, totally present,
Hmm.
totally present, because sacred and all of that is always about awareness. When you're aware of your own being to the deepest level, that's where you find sacred. But it's kind of like in life you have to give everything its due. You got to do your morning routine, and you got to do your bathroom routine, and you got to do your food routine, and you got to do your exercise routine, and you got to do your you know and there are actually five things inside your body that you need to give their due if you want to have a really full, rich, sacred life. And those five are: number one is awareness. And what do? You have to you get to a point where you lie down, you get really still, or sit down and get really still, and maybe just breathe very lightly and slowly, and see how still you can become. And if you can become still enough and go deeply into that stillness enough, you will discover in the emptiness that you feel, there is love. And in the darkness you see when you close your eyes in a dark room, there's actually light. And if you sit in complete stillness, in that stillness there's a sound. Well, you are that light, and you are that sound, and you are that love, because you're not the body. Because I think we've done this before. So if I say to you, whose body is that? You say, well, that's my body. Well, you just told me you're not the body. You just told me your body is your property, but you're not the property. You're the owner, and life is the owner. When you're in touch with awareness, you are in touch with where life comes from. So that's the first one. The second one is to be in touch with life, and that's where the sound, the light, all of that is the energy that keeps you alive. Why does your body move? Well, because energy moves it. That energy came from the sun, it went through green leaves and got into molecules, stored in bonds between atoms in molecules. You eat those as food, you break them down, the energy is released. That's the energy that is your life. So you're basically solar powered. Solar energy, mostly solar energy, a little bit from the star, and of course the moon is reflected sunlight, so that's sunlight too. So that's the second thing. And when you feel that, you're in touch with your power. Anything that you can do, the ability to think requires energy, the ability to move requires energy, the ability to do anything requires energy. That's the energy. When you're in touch with that, you don't feel tired. In fact, light energy never sleeps. Energy never gets tired. Energy never, it, it never has to take time off. If it did, you'd be toast, right?
It's always
So
there, right?
yeah,
Energy
yeah,
is always present, right?
always there, and it breathes you when you're asleep. You're not paying attention to it. You're not doing that. I mean, you're right. It breathes life, breathes your body, and that's how your body stays alive at night when you're sleeping. And
Mhm.
digestion keeps going, and your brain cells keep organizing how your day went and making it coherent for your personality. I mean, there's so much going on that we're not in touch with, but at least we could be in touch with the energy that does that. And that energy is unconditional love. Its only goal is to maintain your body, everything that's going on in your body. It's in charge of doing that through a genetic program that it created over eons of time, right? So that's number two. Number three is inspired creativity. And that's just a shine of that light that you are into the world. It's the positive part of mind. And then the fourth one is body. That's what we mostly pay attention to when we talk about health. So then it's food and fitness, and then digestion is part of it, and then detox is a part of it, and sleep and rest is a part of it. And that's mostly where our health energy goes. But health is way bigger than that. And then the last part of it is what I call survival smarts. And that's the protective part of mind. And that's based on skills, survival skills like first aid and what do you do if there's an earthquake, or what do you do if there's a flood, and preparedness and thinking about how to stay safe. And you got to give that some due too. So you learn the skills. It's preferable always to learn the skill before the crisis hits, because if you try to learn the skill when you're in the midst of the crisis, you're probably not going to do that well, right? So those five, and each one of those is different and has a different function and needs a different kind of attention and needs attention on a regular basis. And each one goes off in a different ways and requires a different kind of intervention. So if you're not feeling calm and connected in peace, it's because your focus is not on the peace that is your core, that is the awareness. Because that awareness, it's indestructible. It's beyond life and death. It's way beyond the body. But it's real. It's your essential, your universal nature is actually peace. It's the source of your existence. It's also the source of the existence of the universe.
Yeah.
Same
You know,
peace. And so when you're not in touch with it, it's like you wouldn't have it. Then it's like, where's the peace in my life? How come everything is so topsy-turvy? How come there's so much stress in my life? Yeah, there's stress in your life. That's all on the outside and interactive with you. But in the core of your being, there is never stress. And wouldn't it be nice for a balanced, for a full, for a rich life to be able to go to the place where your calmness lives all the time? It's just a matter of changing focus. And the same thing with the energy, the unconditional love. Would you like to feel it? What is the model for unconditional love? It's the love that that keeps you alive, right? But if your focus is not on it, then it's like you didn't have it. And then you say, well, where's the love in my relationship? Oh, well, I want it to come from my partner. Yeah, well, that's what she's thinking too. Oh, I want it to come from my partner. But if you're not spending time going there to dig it out and bring it into the relationship, and she's not doing that either, well, then where the hell is the love in your relationship supposed to come from? Right? And it's not going to somehow rain down on us. We bring it into the relationship.
Udo, before we go on and talk a little bit more about that, of how you actually light up your life as you're talking about, I just want to add that it's so important to what you were just discussing. And so I think where the idea of sacred health comes from, it, because sacred does have the connotation or the definition of being connected to God or spirit or creative force, which you were just talking about, that energy or that force that lights you up and keeps you alive. some people can call it God or spirit or the creative
Yeah.
force of the universe, and we're all connected to that. And that's
Yeah.
why our health and our body is really our gift from God, or that creative source. And that's why our health is so sacred. And it's like that it was given to us. And if we don't take care of it, then that's why we're struggling in our life, and we're not living a sacred life. So I think that's
And
just an important idea,
yeah,
concept.
then we miss it, right? I mean, and what's so sad about that is that you've given this gift that you can be in unconditional love and in perfect peace, and they're part of your nature. And it's a gift you didn't earn, you didn't work for, you didn't create it. It was given. You came into the world loaded with it, and in your mother's womb you were floating in it. So this is not a new experience. We've all been there. But what's sad about it is if you don't discover for yourself and enjoy how incredible it feels to be alive and to be in that awareness, then it's a wasted gift because nobody else can enjoy it for you. And then people sometimes say it's selfish. No, no, no. This is the universe's or God's personal gift to you for you to enjoy. So anybody who calls that selfish is just being selfish.
That's so
right?
true. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we got a wrong, people got the wrong definition sometimes of selfish. Selfish means just being in touch with yourself, right? And so that's an important
Right.
thing. We need to take care of ourselves.
Yeah. What mostly what we call selfish is just foolish. When you
Yeah,
say it's selfish to steal somebody's tires or cut their tires, no,
yeah.
that's just foolish because it just gets you. It doesn't get you. It gets you a bad life. If you get good at doing that, you get a not a very good life, right?
Bad karma, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Okay.
then the other thing is that life energy is actually the master of your body is life energy. That master is also what the great masters talked about.
Mhm.
Life energy. So the great master lives in every human being, whether they believe in it or not, but not as a theory and not as a bunch of book reading, but as a personal, direct, internal experience.
God inside. Yeah.
And the practice of sitting still that we began with is about getting in touch with the direct inner personal experience of the wholeness of your being.
Well, that leads me right into the last questions I really want to ask. Well, no, we got one more, but so tell us, what would you say are the most important uh, 3 or 4 or 5 things that you'd recommend people begin doing right now, so they can, live life lit up and create their sacred health.
Yeah. So the ones that we most neglect are the inner three, which is the awareness, to become aware of awareness, to become aware of life energy, and to become aware of inspired creativity. That's where your purpose lives. So, and all of those require to make time, to set aside time
Mhm.
where you shut off all of your distractions and you just be with yourself. You're not doing anything. You're just shifting if you're doing anything, you're shifting your focus. Your focus is a lot of time in your head, thinking, or in the activity that you do, and where you have to pay attention so you don't fall over your equipment, your gym equipment,
Yeah.
or so you do it right and you don't hurt yourself, or you're in traffic, you're making sure you don't hit other cars because you're just like inches away from other cars going the other direction, right? So so we know how to focus. We're very good at focusing outside. The only thing we need to do is bring the focus,
Mhm.
same awareness, same diligent attention, but how about sitting still and bringing that focus inside, so that you discover, because wherever you focus, you learn, right? Where your focus goes, you learn. So if you're always looking at water, you become pretty good at understanding water and waves and wind motion and that kind of stuff, right? If you're always in the gym, then you get to know the gym really well, right? What about the gym in the gym, which is yourself? What about also spending time paying attention to yourself, so you get to learn and get to discover and get to appreciate and get to enjoy how incredible it feels just to be alive, not doing anything. And so this is like the balance for we are, work hard, play hard, and this one is do nothing, just as hard.
Just be. Yeah, just be.
Just to be.
Yeah, that's so good.
And it's really and it's always the same instruction. Find a place, shut off your distractions, sit down or lie down, and completely let go, relax, get still, get quiet, breathe lightly, do nothing as much as you can. Of course, your breathing will continue, right? And just be with yourself. It's always the same instruction. And maybe sometimes people do it with music. That kind of brings them a little closer to themselves, or listening to music sometimes. But the deepest you go is you shut off even the music and all the other things that you use to calm yourself down, and just be in that place where calmness comes from, right? So it's really only one instruction. It's like make time for just to be, and you find even if you don't notice anything, you find that if you do that on a regular basis, your day goes better.
Absolutely.
Because you go into it with more calmness and more awareness and more presence and less agitation and less confusion and less stress. And so your life becomes better just because you took time to do nothing. Wait a minute, I did nothing and my life got better. Yeah, that's exactly how it works.
That's exactly how it works. Yeah, that's what all the monks and all that, that's what they spend their time, meditating and thinking and becoming just being and connecting to your higher self, what really brings peace and clarity and awareness and joy and love into your life.
Yeah, and they might not want to go skiing with you, but you should probably spend some time with people who live in peace and exude that peace, because you feel it when you're around them.
Absolutely.
But it'd be nice if you could feel it within yourself. Then you don't have to go looking for monks to follow.
That's so good, Odo. That's just really the information that we all need to really know and to take action on.
Yeah.
Okay, at the beginning we promised that you would tell people what is the God molecule, and how'd you come up with that, and what is it?
Well, this came out of me understanding that both with science and with time that I spent in my own practice of sitting still, the energy, energy is God. So the sun, the tribes used to worship the sun because it was the source of energy and source of light and source of life and source of growth and so they worshiped the sun because they didn't understand what we understand now. So they worship the sun. That works. That energy goes into the plants, and then that energy goes into you, and that's your life. And then energy is omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscient in you. So it means it knows everything in you. It's everywhere present in you, and it is all powerful in you, right? The energy that is your life. Mm-hmm. That energy is also the master. The masters were called God men. And God men were men who were in touch with God in their own experience. Okay? They're not followers. They were leaders. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people followed them. But what they actually tried to tell people is that what I have, you have too. If you do what I do, which is they took time alone to be with themselves. If you do what I do, you will also be what I am and have what I am and experience what I'm experiencing, right? So these were the God men. But then it came in, okay, so I experienced that energy as light, as sound, as feeling, as love. And then it was like, energy because that's what God is. The molecules that have the most energy are the God molecules. And it turns out that the molecules among the essential nutrients that we have to have for body construction, the one that has the most energy is omega-3s. And it has double bonds that are concentrated energy, and they're all just broken down into energy. You know, all they actually turn into carbon dioxide and water. You know, you add oxygen to them, and then they turn into carbon dioxide and water. And when they turn into carbon dioxide and water, they release energy. And now that goes into the mitochondria, or it actually that happens in the mitochondria. And that energy is the energy that you live on. So there is your God inside of you, right? Making everything work. And so that's why I call it the God molecule. Happens to be also called alpha linolenic acid and omega-3. And, you know, alpha and omega is the beginning and the end, which is another term for God. So I don't know how this happened inadvertently in science, that even the name is religious, right? And then you look at other molecules that you eat, they have less energy. They also have energy. But the God molecule is the one that's the highest energy. And that's why when you get enough omega-3s in your diet, along with everything else that you need, you can increase your performance by 40 to 60%. We measured that in athletes, 40 to 60% within a month of taking a tablespoon per 50 pounds of body weight per day, mixed in food, spread out over the course of the day as your food oil foundation.
Wow, that's so good, Udo. And that's a perfect segue into, I want to remind you that you're training this video, it comes with a PDF, and in that PDF, you're going to get all the contact. You can contact Udo, and you can go to his website. I know he has some free book and training for you there, and you can find out all about the perfect oil that he developed, where you can get your perfect balance of omega-3s. And so you can learn all about that and how you should take your God molecule. So Udo, that was so good. I really appreciate that. And again, I think this is the most important, probably training that we have in this whole group of trainings is just what you were talking about, you know, how to get in touch with your sacredness inside yourself, and how important our health is, and how you can live a lit up life. So thank you so much for that. That was so good.
Thanks, Rico.
And I just want to end with,
always fun talking to you.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And I just want to end with something, one of your statements that I got off of your website. And it says, how much of a positive impact can you create in the world by first improving your own physical health, emotional well-being, and wellness state of mind? That's so good. And that's exactly what this whole project is all about, is so you can be the best you can be, and you can go out and create a positive impact in the world. And so again, thank you so much, Udo. That was awesome. So as Udo says, just, you know,
sit still and breathe.
Yeah, be still and breathe, and appreciate that sacred health you have, and go out and make a big positive impact in the world. So thanks very much for being here.
All right, thank you.